She walked into that diner just wanting a quiet meal after a 12-hour shift. What happened next would change 5 lives forever. 3 men thought they'd found an easy target. A woman alone. Late at night. They had no idea who she really was. This is a story about assumptions, consequences, and why we should never judge a book by its cover. Sarah Chen pushed through the glass door of Miller's diner at 11:47 p.m. Her nursing scrub still damp from the rain. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as she slid into a corner booth, her muscles aching from another double shift at County General. All she wanted was scrambled eggs and toast. Maybe some coffee that didn't taste like burnt rubber. Peace and quiet. The diner was nearly empty. Just her, an elderly couple near the window, and 3 men at the counter. She noticed them immediately because they noticed her first. The tallest one, wearing a leather jacket, elbowed his friend. They turned to stare. Sarah had seen that look before. She ignored it, ordered her food. From Maria, the waitress who knew her by name. "Long night, honey?" Maria asked, pouring coffee. "The longest," Sarah smiled weakly. "Lost a patient today." "A kid?" Maria squeezed her shoulder and walked away. That's when Leather Jacket and his friends moved to the booth behind her. "Hey there, sweetheart," one of them called out. "You look lonely." Sarah didn't turn around. "I'm fine, thanks." "Come on, don't be like that. We're just being friendly." The scraping of their booth seat told her they were getting up. Her heartbeat quickened, but not from fear. From exhaustion. From frustration. From 12 hours of fighting to save lives only to come here and deal with this. "I said I'm fine." Her voice was firmer now. Leather Jacket slid into her booth, uninvited. His breath smelled like whiskey. "You know what your problem is? You don't know how to have fun." His friend blocked her exit. The third one stood watch. Sarah looked at him calmly. "You have 3 seconds to move." He laughed. "Or what? You gonna call for help?" He glanced around the nearly empty diner. "Don't see nobody coming to rescue you, sweetheart." Sarah didn't raise her voice. "I don't need rescuing. But you might." 1. "This is cute," he sneered. "She's counting." 2. His friend shifted uncomfortably. Something in Sarah's eyes made him nervous. 3. What happened next took 4 seconds. Sarah grabbed Leather Jacket's wrist, twisted it in a movement so precise. It looked choreographed, and had him face down on the table before he could blink. His friend lunged forward, and Sarah swept his legs with one foot, while maintaining control of the first man. The third guy froze. "United States Marine Corps," Sarah said quietly, her knee on Leather Jacket's back. 8 years active duty. 2 tours. Hand-to-hand combat. Instructor. "And before you think about trying anything stupid, I should mention I'm also an ER nurse, which means I know exactly how much pressure to apply without causing permanent damage." She looked up at the third man. "So here's what's going to happen. You're going to sit down at the counter. Your friends are going to apologize to Maria for disturbing her diner. And then you're all going to leave. Quietly." Leather Jacket groaned something that sounded like agreement. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. As Sarah released him, she saw something in his eyes. Not anger. Shame. Real, deep shame. He rubbed his wrist, sat back in the booth across from her, and his voice cracked. "I'm sorry. That was wrong. All of it. His hands were shaking. Sarah studied his face. She'd seen that look before too. In the ER. The look of someone barely holding it together. "When did you get back?" she asked quietly. He looked up, surprised. "Iraq. 6 months ago." "Who'd you lose?" His eyes filled with tears. "My brother. He was in my unit." The diner went completely silent. Even his friends sat down, heads lowered. Sarah's voice softened. "I lost 3 of mine in Helmand province." She slid a napkin across the table. "What you did tonight was wrong. You scared me, you disrespected me, and you put your friends in a situation that could have ended very badly. But I see what's underneath it." She wrote something on the napkin. "This is the VA crisis line. This is my hospital's veteran support group. We meet Thursdays at 7. You don't have to drown this pain in whiskey and bad decisions." Leather Jacket, whose name turned out to be Marcus, stared at the napkin for a long moment. Then he stood up, threw $40 on the table to cover everyone's meals, and walked out with his friends. Maria brought Sarah's eggs, now cold, but Sarah barely noticed. 6 weeks later, Sarah was leading her Thursday night support group when someone new walked in. Marcus. Sober. Nervous. But there. He didn't become a different person overnight. Healing doesn't work that way. But he showed up. Week after week. He got a job. Started therapy. Made amends. 2 years later, Sarah received a letter. Marcus had just graduated from community college. He was training to become a paramedic. "Because someone showed me that strength isn't about dominating others," he wrote. "It's about helping them stand up." Here's what this story teaches us: people are fighting battles we know nothing about. Sometimes the person who seems the most threatening is the one who's most broken. And sometimes, the most powerful thing we can do isn't to defeat someone, but to see their humanity when they've forgotten it themselves. Sarah could have had Marcus arrested. She would have been justified. Instead, she offered him a lifeline. That doesn't mean we accept disrespect or tolerate harassment. Boundaries matter. Safety matters. What it means is that even in our most justified anger, we can choose to respond with wisdom rather than just reaction. If this story touched your heart, give it a like and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Have you ever had to set a boundary while still showing compassion? Share your story in the comments below. And remember, you never know what battle someone else is fighting. Choose strength. Choose wisdom. Choose compassion. Subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for more real-life lessons that heal the soul. See you in the next one.